My name's Dustin Yates. I work at Intuit and I live in Kansas City, Missouri, center of the United States. I am 37 years old and I have never traveled outside of the United States in my entire life. So I've been around the United States many times, but never left their borders. So when I looked at the project and the plan, and I had to go out and get a passport and a visa to come to India, and specifically Delhi and Ghaziabad, I came over, and it was a 8,500 mile flight, 14 and a half hours direct from New York City on a plane. And I was very intimidated coming over for the first time, going through customs and getting through immigration, but I made it. I'm happy to be here. I'm from a city of about 2.5 million people, and it's busy, but nothing like this. So that was the biggest shock that I saw when I... Expectations going to the village, I had no idea what to think of. I mean, I'd seen pictures on TV, I had read articles on the internet prior to coming over, but I think the biggest thing of coming over is the village was very rural, and that's what I was expecting. And I understood that a lot of the times the people didn't have electricity all the time or didn't have plumbing, but I had no idea that it would be as welcoming as it was, and as warm as the people were when I went into the villages. It's pretty awesome to get there and feel their spirit, you know. And I felt a little out of place, but by the time I left, I felt like it was almost family before I left. When I got off the bus in the village, it seemed like there was just crowds and crowds of people coming to see who was coming to their village, and a lot of people were getting real close and wanted to touch, and some of them handed me some of their children and wanted to get pictures right away. You know, at first it was a little different and foreign to me to have that much interaction with the people when they came, but it wasn't an uncomfortable thing for me. It was more of this is who they are, they're wanting to get to know me, they're curious about me, and I reciprocated that, and it felt like a pretty open exchange, you know, and that's how we communicate. We might not have been able to speak to each other. I speak English, they speak Hindi. We couldn't speak to each other in words, but we did speak to each other in the way that we, body language, and the way that we interacted. I felt pretty good about it. When I applied for the project, they asked me to develop content for business strategy and financial literacy. So when we did that, we came up with a basic plan, and when we put together our slide decks and our handouts and all the things that we were going to teach, we had no idea of the literacy level of the villagers or their level of understanding. We visited the village yesterday. We wanted to come up with visual aids that we were speaking with so we could show the local people and some of the students that are going to be coming in. So we thought it would be a good idea to discuss competition with some of the people that were coming in with actual products that they use. As soon as we came up with some crackers. We came up with Pepsi versus Coke to differentiate between products. Now we know that that's not always going to be what they do, but we wanted to highlight some of the things that they are going to be experiencing as they try to grow and expand their business and their ideas. We also talked a little bit about how they can jump in and market and upsell some of the things that they do. And along with that comes the financial literacy and the accounting. We want to make sure that basic business principles are taught. The language of business is accounting. And a lot of times when accounting and finance is discussed, it can be very informal. And I think that's what we experienced in the villages yesterday, is a very informal records, very informal accounting. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to grow your business, you need to understand where some of the money is coming from and how it's going out. Coming to this project, our goal is that entrepreneurs will grow out of this, people that own their own business and are empowered to be more than they already are. It's my hope that when they do this and when they come through this class and this experience, that they're able to really solidify the idea that they want to have when they go out and sell their product or develop a business or sell their labor. In our site visit yesterday in the village we were in, we interviewed 2 or 3 women, and one of them was a seamstress and one of them was a shop owner. When we talked with them about taking risks and being able to just have a leap of faith, I felt like they wanted to do that. They wanted to have a little bit of the breakout, and they just didn't know how to make the next step. So when we talk with them, it's our hope that as we go through the course and as we go through the content, that they'll have a solid enough foundation that when they leave, they know what the next step is, and maybe the step after that, so that they have the power, if they choose, to go out and take those steps. I define success in this project as if we created at least one person that came out of this. If one small business came out of this project, of all 10, 12 of us coming over here from the United States and other parts of the world, if we had one person come out, I would feel like this was a huge success. You know, it's one thing. I own a small business of my own. I can understand it's a little scary to put yourself on the line and get out there and put a little bit of your life and your money and your reputation on the line to build something that you don't already have in order to improve your life. I realize that. I know what it's like, and if they're able to do that, their eyes are going to be open, and they're going to be able to see how much is out there, that they're not just limited to what's right there in front of them right this moment. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.